What's good, team? I'm about to go do a little bit of outside work around the house, so clearing the trees that we have in the gutter. So I'm just going to be hopping on the ladder, going around the gutters, clearing it, and then smashing out my gym sesh for today. Heavy deadlift, back off squats, and I think it's a rest day for bench. I don't think we're benching today. Next week, we're hopefully going to hit a triple PR on conventional deadlift. So currently my heaviest conventional deadlift is 280 for a double. I reckon I could maybe do that for a triple. Maybe. Well, the range actually next week's, I think the max is 275, but depending on how I'm feeling, might go high, might go lower. That's going to carry over because next block we're going to go for some heavy singles with the conventional deadlift. So really strengthen that conventional deadlift, as I've never really done it. And then we're going to go back into normal sumos after that, but there'll be some variations with it. The neat thing is that strength that I gained from the conventional deadlift will carry over. And over this time, I will be like desensitizing my sumo deadlift, which means when I get back into it, I'll feel more refreshed, the sumo deadlift, and I'll be able to rebuild gains kind of with it. We just finished, so I've done like 1/4 of the house so far, and I got to do the other 3/4 probably later this week or something. Just made my pre-workout meal. We got just peanut butter on toast with bananas and cinnamon. But yeah, we're gonna munch this back and then read this book that I'm reading. It's called Emotional Intelligence. Before you guys go, oh, that sounds soft, that sounds stupid, it's really not. It's actually quite interesting. It talks about how, well, at the very start of the book, it has how when you process information, your first reaction is always an emotional reaction in almost any event and almost anything you do. And then it goes how your brain processes information goes through your, it's probably a very simplified like explanation, but information goes through your spinal cord, and then it goes through your limbic system, which is your emotions, then to your frontal lobe, which is like your logical thinking or rational thinking. So it has to pass through your emotions regardless. And your emotional intelligence is your ability to control and communicate between your emotional part of your brain and your rational. So if you actually understand it or improve it better, you'll be able to, when you get an emotional response, you can understand it, control it, and actually do what you want rather than letting your emotions control you. That's something I really want to work on. That'll be, bro, that's like a superpower. If you could have that, that's a superpower, man. I still reckon they should upgrade the NZ. Like, it's got a fern, which is like cool, but they should make a way better like design for the fern. Whereas like this one's got like a cool gradient type of thing on it. I wasn't thinking about having some pre-workout, but I mean, it's not going to do me any harm. I'm going to have some pre-workout, and we're going to dry scoop it. This one advanced as well, so more caffeine. Yeah, they'll be right. 260 triple. I'd say RP7/6.5, like it actually didn't move all too bad. Now I got a 245 back off, but conventional is not too bad. It's getting better. I mean, this is week 3, it's 3 weeks of conventional, and the movement pattern starts to get more efficient, but pretty happy with it. Man. Practically the sessions is just 1v1. I mean, it's usually always 1v1. I barely train with other people. I mean, you've seen videos with me and the bro Jacob, but I'd say 95% of all my, probably more to be honest, is just me versus me. I do like everything alone, to be honest. Not sure if it's like the greatest thing or the best thing for me, but if I'm being honest, I think it's just deep down there's reasons why, and I think a large reason why is just how I grew up. Growing up, I think it shaped me, and like things that happen at home, and then I think it all starts when you're growing up, like when you're little. I don't know, stuff like this, but I have it in my head, and I can tell you, but like part of me doesn't want to tell you guys as well, like keep it to myself. I don't know, man. I think I'm getting better at like talking about these things. I'm just communicating, and yeah, slow improvement of just me in general, growing as a person, you know. I'm trying to get better into all sorts of areas that like I fall short. One thing that I probably weren't doing as the best, I was just grinding hard, just go hard, just suck it up type of thing. Like I was definitely fatigued at times, bro. One of the times I was like completely fried in terms of, but it was when I did 287.5 kilos for 5 reps for 5 sets. And that's crazy to think because I did 290 for 5 and 287.5 is only 2.5 kilos lighter. I was just so fried after that. Even before that, like my fatigue was crazy, but providing overload is like the second most important variable with strength training, but I'll say pretty much any training. But then the next most important one is fatigue management, and I was probably neglecting that. Okay, let's smash it up. Let's get this 220 on. Bro, that belt flick is becoming automatic now. I definitely want to talk more with you guys on the videos, because I'll probably, as I get more into these videos, talk more, I guess, personal things and in-depth and deep things. The things like my goals, some regrets with training, regrets in general. One thing I like to think is, no matter how tough you reckon you are, you still have emotions, right? Like people that look brave or come across as brave, they're still scared. And there's a quote I like is, bravery is in the absence of fear. Bravery is being scared, but doing it anyway. I think everyone, regardless of how they come across, still has the same emotions or feelings that you have. And that's like the big thing about social anxiety, is a lot of people think everyone else is above them. Another thing I like to think is confidence isn't like going out in public and saying, oh, I'm better than this person, and I'm stronger than this person, I'm bigger than this person, I'm smarter than that person. Confidence is being able to go out in public and acknowledge you're surrounded by all these people, different people, but you're not worried about what people think. Being yourself. And that's why I want to talk about more in depth into these videos, is because if I'm upfront and real with you guys, then there's no image I have to uphold. There's nothing I have to uphold that is kind of fake. I just have to be me, and then I feel like if I'm being me, then a lot of that worry and anxiety of trying to be something type of thing goes away, and I can just focus on what's really important, not be restrained about it. And that's like one of the reasons why I'm reading that like emotional intelligence books, because if you're not able to control and regulate your emotions, they control you. You get so caught up in them, and you try and validate how you're feeling rather than acknowledging that you're feeling this way, keeping them in check, putting them aside. but still getting out what you actually have to do or what you should be doing. Anyways, let's get this second set of 220. Let's go. You know, that's what I'm going to title this video. The title is something about confidence, you know. What is confidence, or how to truly be confident, or something along those lines here. Because I think that's what I touched on, is actually acknowledging vulnerabilities, but not being so caught up in them that they control you. Whew, that felt good. Good control. Pretty sure that was decent depth. I'll have to check the video, and I think the pauses were decent. The tricky thing with pauses is, feels like we're pausing way longer than we really are in your mind. And it's the same thing when you're having any pain or stress. It feels 100 times longer than it really is. And I guess it's a cool analogy and example that whenever you're going any down for a hard time, that it's actually very temporary and it feels like it's forever, but once it passes, that's when you realize, you look back, it wasn't even that bad. Okay, let's get our back offs. I just had a quick look at the depth. The depth was marginal, plus it wasn't the greatest angle, hence we got this switch up angle. Gonna focus on sinking deeper, but also keeping that tension. One thing I do struggle with is when I sink deeper, I tend to be a bit slack and I relax a little bit rather than keeping nice and like tight tension. Good cue to think about is constantly think about driving up as you go down, because it means then you gotta keep more tension. And another good second point is don't drop so quick. A lot of people, they rush in. I'm gonna say a lot of people, especially like beginners, especially when they're hyped, they like try and like drop. For you to drop that quick, your muscles have to relax. You can't drop quickly while keeping tension. So want to make sure to find a good comfortable pace that's strong, but also not a tempo squat. Pretty happy with the gym session today. Pretty solid. Time to get the protein in. Let's get it. I'm gonna have an actual shower and a moldy shower on top. Killed one bird with two stones. I've essentially I tried to make some sort of quesadilla, it didn't really work, but it's steak, cheese, or melted cheese now, tomato, spinach, and onion in there, topped with salt, because you're gonna get the sodium, and then we got potatoes inside for extra carbs. Hey, what is good, team? We are back, and I am now gonna have a quick yarn to you guys about a few deep things, you know. And this chapter or this topic is going to be talking about your mentality and your thoughts and your perspective, because that plays a massive role in anything you do, whether it be training or your day. It's extremely important, and also differentiating your emotions to your thoughts, because they're two different things. And a lot of people, I think, give into their emotions, and their emotions become their thoughts, or they dictate their thoughts based on their emotions rather than separating the two. Because if you are thinking only based off how you feel, you're gonna get nowhere. And I think if we can differentiate that, we've made one step forward in being able to push towards our goals and where you're wanting to go. If you can't differentiate that, you will then be controlled by how you feel and your emotions. And how you feel is constantly changing up and down, which means your goal, which should be staying constant, that one goal, you shouldn't be changing it. But if that one goal's there, and because you're now not differentiating your emotions to your emotions now become your thoughts, and because your thoughts become your actions, and your actions become your habits, and your habits become who you are, that means indirectly you are now going nowhere where you wanted to go, which was your goal. Hopefully that made sense. It was a little bit of a waffle, and this leads quite nicely into the Bible verse I want to talk to. It's from the book of Proverbs, which I'm actually currently reading. And I'm just going to say I strongly recommend you guys read the book of Proverbs. Probably some of the deepest and the most relatable things you can read. I read the Bible in the morning and at night, so the New Testament in the morning, a chapter from there, and then a chapter from the Old Testament at night. And currently in the Old Testament, I'm reading the book of Proverbs. And last night I stumbled across a verse that literally was relating to what I'm doing right now, or like one thing I'm doing right now in my life, which is I'm wanting to buy a camera. So right now I use my phone to record, and I'm wanting to buy a camera, right, so I can make more content and really pursue my content, because I want to make better videos for you guys and help you guys as much as possible. I actually enjoy making videos, especially these ones, the ones when I'm talking and it's just me training, it's just me being me type of thing. Those are the best videos in my opinion, and especially if you guys like it, it's even better. And it says, chapter 20 verse 14, the buyer haggles over the price, saying it's worthless, then brags about getting a bargain. And right now I buy most of my stuff off Facebook Marketplace, and I guess you could say lowball the people that are selling it to try to get it cheaper, right? And like when I'm talking to them, I'll ask them about all the problems, and then I'll say like, because there's a scratch there, it's not as good as it really is. And then when you get it, and your mates ask you tell them, oh fuck, that was a bargain, man. But you were literally telling the person that it's not actually worth that much because it has a scratch or something damaged. I don't know if you guys do that, but I have at least. Then it clicked, and I ended up just going with the guy that I'm buying the camera off with the price that he had listed. Well, I made a lowball offer and he declined, and I was going to try again with like slightly higher but still lowball offer. And then I ended up just going like, you know what, I think that price is fair. So I ended up going with it, and I'm going to bank transfer him tonight, and hopefully he delivers, posts it and ships it to me, post it tomorrow. It's in Auckland, so hopefully he actually does. That's the only problem thing about Facebook Marketplace is can be dodgy. Nah, I reckon it will sweet. Hopefully. But anyways, yeah, that was like something I literally could apply. And there's so many of these verses that you can apply in your life. I think all of the verses, in especially the book of Proverbs, will have some meaning to at some stage in your life. I think. And that's a bit of a hyperbole, but it's basically me trying to express that how useful and valuable I've found reading the book of Proverbs so far. And it actually leads on all this talk about emotions, thoughts, and working towards goals was actually foreshadowing the Bible verse I did want to talk about, which is still in the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 23 to 25 is, above all, be careful what you think, because your thoughts control your life. Don't bend the truth or say things that you know are not right. Keep your eyes on the path and look straight ahead. It kind of goes about your thoughts control your life, and if your thoughts are dictated by your emotions, now your emotions control your life, and your emotions can be crazy. You can be angry, and that can dictate your thoughts. There's no good in angry thoughts. Same with like envy and jealousy. You got to make sure you're able to distinctively separate them too. Think rationally and acknowledge that you may be going through this particular emotion or how you're feeling at the time. Don't neglect it. A lot of people say ignore your emotions, whereas I don't think that's a good thing, because you will then end up ignoring it at the moment, but then they will resurface least when you expect it. So you're kind of just hiding the symptom rather than finding the root of the problem. Whereas if you acknowledge it's there, maybe try and figure out why it's there, because it can reveal something that you might not actually like, but it's the truth. So if you actually think about it, then click to your rational way of thinking, push your emotions to the side, not ignoring them, just pushing them to the side. So you're managing them and then getting what needs to get done. Maybe you're working towards your goal and something goes down and you're feeling all these emotions, and then you're not really rationally thinking because maybe you've worked all this real like hard work and you have some sort of downhill and you're like, oh, this sucks, and you think of all these negative things because you're faced with negative emotions and you haven't distinctively separated your emotions to your thoughts. You then go in a downhill spiral, and imagine you just give up right there. You're not thinking straight because thought straight, you'll be like, damn, I've made all this progress. And I acknowledge that downfalls or defeats are actually part of the process. And the funny thing about opportunity is it often comes in disguised in defeat or failures. A lot of people fail to understand that, myself included at times. Hopefully I didn't waffle too much. It's going to be a little bit of a short yarn, but yeah, man, we're getting better at the way I'm talking, I think, and I'm excited to be able to have a camera soon. Hopefully I don't get scammed, but I guess only time will tell. Hope you guys have a good night. I'm gonna if you haven't already, chuck a subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Road to 10k. Let's get it.